the law, that is, he equated himself with God. He coveted Naboth's vineyard. He failed to respect the Jews' laws of land ownership. See? Outline 7 lessons Christians learn about social justice from the story of Naboth's vineyard. Christians should not use their positions in leadership to acquire wealth falsely. Christians should protect the poor against corrupt leaders. They should safeguard property received through inheritance. They should not be led by their relatives to go against the law. They should condemn all forms of injustice in the society. Christians should fight for the rights of the weak in the society. There is punishment for those who exploit the poor. Christians should be repentant. Christians should report corrupt leaders. Question 4a. Identify 7 characteristics of false prophets. They were prophets who claimed to speak in the name of Yahweh. They demanded payment for their services. They were paid as servants of kings and only say what pleased the kings. They lived immoral lives. They gave messages that people wanted to hear. They gave false testimonies. They challenged the work of true prophets. They promoted idolatry, which was condemned by the law of Moses. They were not guided by Yahweh, but their own imagination. Their prophecies were not fulfilled. B. Outline nature of punishment that God pronounced to Israel through prophets. Outline the nature of punishment that God pronounced to Israel through prophets. The holy places such as Bethel would be destroyed. The people of Israel would be taken to exile. The rich who oppress the poor would lose their wealth. The people would hunger for the word of God. God would cover the land with darkness. There would be an earthquake. Amaziah, the priest, and the king would die by the sword. See? State 6 ways through which Christians in Kenya can avoid God's punishment today. Obeying His commandments, that's God commandments. Practicing the word of God. Being good role models. Carrying out charitable activities. Repenting their sins. By taking care of God's creation. By praying. Seeking spiritual guidance. Preaching the word of God. Question 5a. Describe the social background to Nehemiah. The exiles lived a stressful life. They lived together in areas allocated to them. They were not mistreated by their masters. Their elders did the local administrative work. Family units had been disrupted during the conquest. They worked for their masters in irrigation, construction, fishing, and shepherding. A few of them held administrative jobs in Babylon. After a period of captivity, some of the Jews opted to return to Judah, but others remained in exile. The rich who returned to Judah oppressed the poor that they found there. B. Outline 6 reforms that Nehemiah carried out in the temple during the final reforms. Nehemiah expelled Tobiah and Sanballat from the temple for defiling it. He reorganized the stores in the temple. He reformed the tithing system. He condemned the temple officials for forsaking the house of God. He restored the Levites and the singers to their rightful positions. He arranged for the equitable distribution of temple resources. C. Identify 7 ways in which the government of Kenya supports the church in its work. The government has allowed freedom of worship by allowing Christian religious education to be taught in schools, by setting aside land for construction of churches, by the government giving financial support to churches for development, by employing some church leaders, such as chaplains, in various government institutions. The government supports church-sponsored institutions by availing facilities for the church to hold their activities, by involving church leaders in national prayer days, through the development of the infrastructure which makes the spread of the gospel easy. Question 6a. Outline the roles of ancestors in the traditional African communities. They inflicted punishment on offenders in the society. They blessed the living members of the community. They avert the consequences of curses. They mediate between God and human beings. They protect human beings against evil. They provide names to the newborns. They warn the living of impending punishment. They preside over all religious ceremonies in the community. They give instructions to the family on what should be done on certain matters. They appear to the living in visions and dreams and to interact with them. B. Explain the significance of rituals performed after death of a person in the traditional African community. So the significance of rituals performed after death. Wailing was for announcing the death. There was making sacrifices to appease the ancestors to accept the dead in their world. Singing and dancing to show anger towards the dead. Washing of the body before burial to show respect to the departed. Burying of the dead in ancestral land to show that one is still a member of the community. Burying the dead with personal belongings symbolizes life after death. Feasting meant to bid farewell to the dead. Breaking of pots symbolized the disorder brought by death. Pouring libation shows creativity of life. Driving off kettle shows chasing away the evil spirits which caused death. C. Give 5 ways in which traditional African communities prepare those who family members before they die. Give 5 ways in which traditional African communities prepare members before they die. Inviting the family members to share a common meal. Identifying the leaders of the family. Disclosing to the members all the property they own. Giving advice to family members. Reconciling family members. Blessing the family members. They identify their debtors. They identify their burial site and give instructions regarding their funeral. And they share property among the family members. Did you understand? Kindly let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what video I can look at tomorrow. Thanks a lot for subscribing and listening to me. God bless you.